This video is about how to hack teaching a growth mindset by using a lesson on your brain. Hi, if you're new to this channel, my name is Peter. I'm the Innovative Arts teacher, and this video is a part of a series to help parents and teachers do a better job of teaching the important lessons that really matter in life. It's so important they learn how brain works, I decided to make its own video. So when a kid knows how their brain works, they can start to value mistakes. They can start hacking their studying. They can make better choices. In this video, I'll show you how to teach what it looks like in my classroom, and a simple version of what happens inside of all of our brains. Simple enough that you could teach it to elementary or middle school students. Here's how I teach this in my classroom. I'm going to go through it fast to keep this video short, but leave a comment with your suggestions below. So we have about 80 billion neurons in our brain. Neurons do it all. They connect the optic nerve that is helping you see this right now, but one neuron can't do much. They need to work together. That's why neurons have thousands of connections between them. One neuron can have over 1,000 connections to other neurons. These connections are how you know everything that you know, how you do everything that you do. You know how to walk because of the connections between the parts of your brain that control your muscles, and your legs, your back, your arms, shoulder, neck, inner ear. It's all connections. The connections are really strong because you know how to walk and you walk every day. So that's how connections work. They get stronger when you use them, and they can go away when you stop using them. So have you ever thought that you would definitely remember something in a class, or, I'll definitely remember this, and then you forgot it somewhere along the way? Well, those connections weren't quite as strong as you thought they were. So how do you make these connections? Well, first of all, I tell my students that we have two different types of memory. We have short-term memory and we have long-term memory. So the short-term memory, that can remember the stuff that you're seeing today, the stuff that you ate for breakfast today, all the details about your travel to school. That's all in your short-term memory. And while you sleep at night, so tonight, your brain is going to go through all that short-term memory and decide which memories are worth storing in long-term memory and which memories are going to be just discarded. You're not going to keep them all. This is why teachers keep telling their students to study a little each night. It's because every night your brain is making new long-term memories, and if you refresh that knowledge every single day, you'll have more long-term memories and more chance that you'll get that important concept in your head. Next, it's a really good reason to get really good sleep at night. You're using your sleep to make your brain better, and people who don't get enough sleep don't get to make those long-term memories, and stuff just doesn't stick as well in their brains. So up next, we learn really well. We make connections really well as we make mistakes. I've made thousands of mistakes, big mistakes, small mistakes. Every mistake has helped me get better at something because I learn from it and I see what isn't happening or what I should have done, and those connections stick really well. Our brains are made to make those connections. Here's an example of the prop I use in my classroom. It's a class brain, and the pipe cleaners represent connections that the students can share and build upon. What I do is I have students share a mistake and what they learned from that mistake, and then they can add a pipe cleaner to this great big mess. So do you want a brain that has a lot of connections or just a few? I ask my students, and obviously they want a lot of connections. The only way to get a lot of connections in that new skill that you're learning is to practice and keep making mistakes. So from that point on, after we talk about the class brain and mistakes and connections, I'm cheering on whenever a kid makes a mistake, and we talk about how they're making new connections and they're better for that mistake. I repeat each part of this lesson several times about short-term memory, about studying every night. We talk about getting good sleep, and before long, kids can share back to me that it's connections, and you keep the connections that you use. They can make examples that I missed. So leave a comment with an example mistake or a better example that I missed in this explanation. I have a lot more videos like this, and I hope you found this useful. I really think that teaching kids how to use their growth mindset or their brains can help them develop a growth mindset, because it's just the way it works. Your brain works because of the mistakes we make. The mistakes we make up that growth mindset. That is how I teach my students how their brains work and how it relates to growth mindsets. Like they go together really well, and I really encourage you to teach it in your own classroom.